Okay, this should be a video about the secrets of making a good spaghetti sandwich. First, start with some form of white bread, even if you prefer other kind of breads for most sandwiches. We use a 40 cal honey wheat from Nature's Own, just because we're in the habit of eating it, because we used to eat keto. Since I got sick, I don't eat keto very much because gaining weight is more important than losing weight when you're fighting cancer. Anyway, so you could use whatever kind of bread you like, but if it wasn't this, I'd go with some kind of white bread that you like. Anyway, and we go generous with the mayo. I mean, not too generous, but we don't want to leave any spot of the bread uncovered. Part of the magic of a spaghetti sandwich or dressing sandwich or a meatloaf sandwich is the mayo and white bread, in addition to what you're usually eating the night before when you have the said ingredient for dinner. Okay, so now we have the mayo. We're going to put the ricotta. Just any ricotta. This happens to be Galbani. I think that's the way you say it. As often as not, we use Publix or Walmart brand generic, because I found that any ricotta cheese seems to work very well for this. Now, if you're a ricotta snob, and more power to you. I'm a snob about certain things too, just not ricotta. You might want to have your great uncle's favorite brand. I don't know. That's your business. But this works for me. So you got nice generous layers of ricotta cheese. And by the way, I'm from the South, and I might say ricotta a little wrong. I might even say pesto a little wrong. And you'll just have to forgive me for that. But anyway, then we add a little pesto, or maybe a lot of pesto. And then the last ingredient before we add the main ingredients will be a heavy sprinkling, and I use that word kind of loosely, of pre-grated Parmesan and Romano cheese. You can make your own fresh if you're that kind of person. I'm not. Maybe if I made it a few times, I would change my mind, but I grew up on these little cans of Parmesan cheese. I found I enjoyed them more with a little Romano mixed in. And now, my wife prefers bow tie or farfalle or whatever you call it. And I like the stringy little spaghetti noodles, but these are yummy and they work real well on bread because they like to lay down flat and they don't stick out 4 or 5 inches like a string of spaghetti will do sometimes. So it's not a bad choice. Anyway, a few over to the side because my puppy dog thinks she's really getting a treat if she gets a few pieces of pasta. And best I can tell, it doesn't do her any harm. And we add a little red sauce, which this red sauce has lots of meat. We used a large jar last night of spaghetti sauce, Michelangelo's, but it still was not enough to make up for the 1.5 pounds of ground beef. So, as you can see, the red sauce is almost a meat sauce. So that's how you make the sandwich.